What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Devin and I hope that you will consider sticking around and subscribing. And if you're not new, as always, welcome back. You know I love you. So today's video is going to be a full face makeup tutorial on this glowy, springy, fresh makeup look. So obviously this look is still very much on the glam side. This is really not no makeup or anything of that nature, but I did really focus on using hydrating, glowy products to get this effect on my skin. I would say this is definitely more of a skin focused tutorial. That is where the meat and potatoes of this look is. So I can already tell by the sheer length of time that I've been filming this video that this is going to be a long one, but I do talk you through everything. I do explain a lot. I do tell you about the different products that I'm using and why. So if you are interested in seeing how I got this look, then let's get right into it. So I already have my little clippies in my hair, holding it out of my face. I'm gonna brush my brows up. I just got them shaped a couple days ago, so they are looking okay. All right, so first things first, I am going to get my tapes on my eyes because we're gonna do eyes first. I love using eye tapes because I like a nice clean edge. You do not have to do this if you don't like using tapes. This has kind of just become my thing, to be honest, and I like the result that I get from it. So this is an optional step, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it. And this is just lash tape that I got from Amazon. So I just kind of eyeball it to make sure that they're even. Okay, so I'm gonna take a little bit of concealer on the back of my hand. You can use whatever concealer. This is my NYX Bear With Me because I am going to be using that concealer in today's look. And I'm just getting this concealer on a little brush here, and I'm going to just carve underneath my brows. Even though I have not filled them in yet, I still kind of want to give like a shape to them underneath. So I'm just going to use the side of my brush and go along the bottom of my brow and just give a nice clean line underneath. But again, even this honestly is an optional step. If this isn't your thing, you don't really have to do this either. I am just, of course, showing you guys what I like to do. Okay, and then I'm gonna take my sponge and just kind of blend that in. I'm pretty much just concentrating this on my brow bone because I do want to put actual eye primer. I'm gonna go in with my P. Louise next, so I want to leave some space for that underneath. So just using enough of that concealer to get under the brow. Okay, so as I just mentioned, getting a little bit of my P. Louise. Maybe I'll just do this with my finger today since I don't have long nails. I'm giving my nails a break from press-ons. I love this color. It's one of the new ones from the Lights Lacquer and Polly Pocket collection, and I just did these, and I think this is their jelly nail polish formula, which is, I think, my favorite formula from them. So I really, really love this color for spring. What's it called? It's the, I got the whole set, but this is the Polyville color. Super pretty. Okay, guys, so for today's look, I pulled out an oldie but a goodie. This is the ColourPop Nude Mood palette. I checked right before this video. As of today, when I'm filming this on April 23rd, 2023, this is in stock and available for purchase at both Ulta and ColourPop. Things tend to go in and out of stock on ColourPop's website a bunch, but I do feel like they do restock things often. So right now this is in stock in both places. So I am going to get a big fluffy brush and I'm gonna go into the shade here called Bluffin'. And you guessed it, if you've watched my videos before, we are going to first set the lid down with that. I hope you guys don't mind that I am using like older palettes. I like watching videos where YouTubers are using things that they already have. I mean, I absolutely love watching the new makeup videos too. I love learning about the latest and greatest and seeing products in action as much as anybody else does. But for me in my own life, as somebody who doesn't really, I don't receive PR or anything like that, so I have a fairly big makeup collection as far as like the normal person is concerned. Probably small collection in terms of like a YouTuber collection, but I just feel like right now, because I spend my own money on my makeup and because I am planning and saving for a wedding. I just can't be on top of the latest and greatest all the time. And I just have so many palettes in my collection, especially my ColourPop palettes. I have so many palettes in my collection that like I want to use and make several videos with and stuff like that. So anyway, I'm rambling, but I'm sorry if this palette is boring to you, but hopefully to some of you, you already have it, or maybe you're interested in it. And again, it's just such a great go-to. So that's kind of what I've been wanting to do, like focus on lately, is just like, okay, what kind of tutorials can I do and what kind of things can I teach with a lot more of the makeup that I already have. That's not saying I don't want to buy new makeup ever, but I've tried to really control my spending on makeup a little bit and try to take advantage of sales and things like that when I can. So anyway, that's my spiel. Just letting you know where I'm at. Okay, next I'm gonna take a Sigma E40. I'm gonna go into this shade right here called Mugged Off. And I'm gonna use this to start warming up the outer corner and the crease as well. This tutorial might be a rambly tutorial, so I hope you guys are here for the long form content today, because long form is my favorite and YouTube is my favorite because I get to actually like talk. I love to watch 20 to 30 minute videos of my favorite YouTubers as well, because I just feel like that's how you really get to know them, and that's how you can really share your thoughts and really talk about what you like and don't like and why. And like, maybe this is just so millennial of me, but I just can't get into TikTok. I just can't. I've even been staying logged out of my Instagram recently just because the mindless, endless scrolling has really been like getting to me lately, and I feel like I've been wanting to take a little bit more control back over that in my life. So I don't know, if you're watching this video, let me know in the comments if you feel the same. Like, I understand how big TikTok is and Instagram Reels and all that stuff. And I love Instagram, don't get me wrong. That's more what I grew up with than TikTok, but I don't know, just like the short form, short attention span type of content. Again, I get it, but it's not what I like to consume. And I've kind of realized recently that it's really not what I like to create as much as YouTube. So I hope there are some of you out there that are like me and you're still here for YouTube, because I love YouTube so much. I barely watch TV. I just watch makeup YouTube videos. Okay, next I'm actually gonna go back into this shade Bluffin', but this time I'm gonna take it on a more like a packing brush. You guys can see this isn't really a blending brush. It's something that's going to help me pack it on the lid. It's the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill JH41. And I am just going to start packing that on my lid to intensify the brightness. And then what we're gonna do is put a shimmer on top. That being said, if you want a very simple matte eyeshadow look, like look at that, you can just kind of leave it like that, throw some eyeliner on if you want to, and then lashes and mascara, and go. But this is going to be a glowy look, so I do want to add just a little bit of shimmer on the lid on top of this. All right, next I'm going to go into this shade right here. It's called Wink Wink, and I'm going to get this on my finger because I do think that this is a Super Shock formula in this palette. So I'm just going to get a nice little bit of that on my finger here. You can see it's nice and shimmery, just kind of like, this is like a go-to lid shade for me, just like a bright kind of shimmery champagne color. And I am going to tap that over top of where we were just working with that ivory matte shade to bring a little bit of glowiness and shimmeriness to, shimmeriness? I don't think that's a word. Glow and shimmer to the eyelid. And I do feel like there's a lot of glitter in this shade, so as you can see, it's not super intense or metallic. I do think that the best way to apply it is with your finger. I just love the little bit of extra dimension, but still kind of soft and feminine and pretty effect that gives to this look. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back into that shade Mugged Off. Oops, sorry. Mugged Off one more time, again on my blending brush, and I'm gonna intensify that just a little bit in the outer corner and through the crease. And then honestly, guys, this is pretty much where we're gonna stop for the eyes. Okay, we're gonna stop there. So I'm gonna take my little eye tapes off. I gotta cut these shorter because they always get stuck in my little baby hairs and then I'm like, ow. All right, and you wanna gently, I think I'm gonna put that up a little high, but you wanna gently peel these, especially in, you know, that delicate area around your eye. You want to be as gentle as possible. And we've got a little bit of kind of fallout and stuff down here, so I'm just going to take a makeup wipe and quickly clean that up. Okay, we're going to step away from eyes for a second. We're going to move on to face, which I feel like will be the big focal point for this video because we're, again, really going for that fresh, glowy, dewy skin look. And I definitely have some products here that I have been using a ton off of camera just in my everyday life to really give me that fresh skin look. So I'm very excited. So let's get some primer on the face. So I am going to use my NYX Plump Right Back Plumping Serum and Plumping serum and primer. Okay. I'm gonna start with just a pump of that, 2 pumps on the back of my hand. I've been loving this. This primer has kind of been playing second fiddle in my collection to the e.l.f. gripping primer because this one is not as gripping, but it's definitely as beautiful and hydrating. So I recently ran out of my e.l.f. gripping primer, and so I've been grabbing this one a lot more often, and I really do like it. One thing I want to note about this is that this is a water-based primer. So it's important to note that this is a water-based primer because it is going to work really well under the water-based foundation that I am going to show you right now. So just want to call that out because I'm going to explain why that's important in just a second. Okay, so for foundation today, I am going to be using the LYS Triple Fix Serum Foundation with hyaluronic acid, turmeric, and ashwagandha is what it says here on the front. So I have 2 shades. I have the shade LN6 and then the shade MG5. So LN6 is kind of like my no tan color, and then MG5 is supposed to be a little bit more of my tan shade. I do have a self tan on right now, so I think I should be able to get away with this tanner shade. Okay, yeah, so we are just gonna go straight in with MG5. I don't think I need to mix this, so I'm just gonna get a couple pumps on the back of my hand to start. I'm gonna work it into my Sigma F80, and I am just going to start applying that to the skin. So this foundation is absolutely gorgeous. The reason that I brought up the water-based primer a few minutes ago is because this is a water-based foundation. So when I first tried this product out, I used it over top. This actually might still be a little dark. I'm gonna add, sorry, side note, I'm gonna add just a little pump of this lighter shade in here because I think it might still be a little dark for me. Anyway, so when I first tried this foundation, I used it over top of the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, which is one of my favorites for the T-zone, but that is a silicone-based primer. And as a makeup artist, I definitely should have been paying attention to that because what I'm about to tell you is makeup 101. If you have never learned this little tip before, get your notepad out because I'm about to change your life. If you are somebody that deals a lot with makeup that separates, you want to pay attention to matching your bases, which means if you are using a silicone-based primer, you need to put a silicone-based foundation over top of it. If you go over top of a silicone-based primer with a water-based foundation, it's basically like trying to mix oil and water together. They are going to separate. So your water-based foundation will start to break apart on your face. It won't last, and that will be because of the silicone-based primer that you put underneath. So that's just my little makeup artist 101, and I'm sharing that because when I first tried this foundation, I did not follow that rule, and it definitely broke apart all over my face. But yeah, so all of that to say is that once I figured out that I was being a dummy and using the wrong type of primer underneath, I gave this foundation another chance with the correct type of primer underneath, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. I see why it has great reviews. Okay, for concealer, we're going to do 2 things. So first, I am going to use the Milani Supercharged Brightening Under Eye Tint. This is in the shade 110 Pink Rose. This is so pigmented, and it's technically a color corrector, but when I remember to use this, I do like to use it for a little extra brightness under the eyes. So I am going to get just the tiniest amount of that. And I'm going to take my Beauty Blender and just get it on the very tip, and I'm going to dot that right under my eyes, right over top of where those pesky dark circles can show up. See, can you guys see the difference? So this has nothing underneath, just the foundation. And then this has that brightener underneath. It's beautiful. Okay, and then for concealer, I already mentioned this briefly earlier in the video, but this is the NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum. I have mine in the shade Vanilla, so I am gonna start with just, a pump. Why are we not working? Hello. There we go. So I'm just gonna get it on the tip of my beauty blender and I'm gonna apply that to my under eyes. This concealer is so beautiful for a look like this where you want something that's a little bit thinner in consistency. It still provides good coverage, but it's definitely not super full. It is more of that lighter weight, glowy, like you can kind of get away with it for more of a no makeup look. This really is not turning out to be a no makeup look. Anyway, my point is this concealer is great. It's versatile in that way where I feel like you can use it for lighter makeup days, but you also can use it for a full glam look and it kind of works in all areas. Okay, and then I am gonna get a little bit more of that because since the foundation was still a little bit dark, I do kind of want to brighten like in the center of my face as well. So I am just going to dab a little bit of that in the center of my forehead, bring it down the center of my nose, Cupid's bow, and center of my chin, and then I'm gonna flip it over and just kind of work that in so we've got some brightness and dimension in the center of the face as well before we go in and bronze. Okay, so I'm not gonna set the whole face just yet, but I do wanna set my under eyes while we work on our cream bronzer. So I'm gonna take my Beauty Bakery Flour Setting Powder. This is in the shade Oat. I'm gonna get it on just kind of like a fluffy brush to keep the powder a little bit on the lighter side as opposed to using a puff where I feel like you can really bake a lot more. It also helps too, like as you're working, I know cream products are really all the rage right now, so using a light touch with your powder, again, helps to set your concealer down so it doesn't crease up while you're working on the other areas of your face, but it also, when you use less powder, will help prevent kind of like that like bunching up that you get on the face sometimes when you're using creams on top of powders. All right, under eyes are set, so now we're gonna go in with cream bronzer. So I'm gonna use another product from LYS. This is the cream bronzer stick. I have mine in the shade Harmony, which I believe it's not their lightest, it's their second to lightest, so it's like a good medium tan. This is so pigmented, and the way that I kind of have been using it is just kind of like striping it right on my face, but because it's so pigmented, I think I'm actually gonna just get it on my brush first and work it in that way. So I'm just gonna look at that, but don't say I didn't tell you, okay? Because I'm like, oh my gosh, even that is like almost too much for me. So I'm gonna work this along my temples to start. So I'm just kind of stippling it in and then also slightly kind of pressing it in and up into my hairline. So as you can see, this is very warm, but you can also see how beautiful that dimension is that it just gave to my forehead. We look bronzed, we look a little sculpted. And then I'm just gonna go back in with my beauty blender and just kind of blend along this part of the bronzer, if that makes sense, like towards the inner part of it. And that just helps to avoid getting like kind of like a ring of bronzer around your forehead and have more of a gradient from the center up towards the hairline. I hope that makes sense. All right, so I'm gonna get a little bit more of that on my brush and I'm gonna work on the cheekbones now. And again, I'm just kind of going over everything with my beauty blender. The name of the game is blending, right? I've been saying it for years. And then I'm just gonna get a tiny little bit of that and just go around back of my jaw. Actually, you know what? Let's just do the whole jawline. So I'm gonna go starting around the back here. I'm gonna come underneath here and try to cast a shadow on my double chin a little bit. This is, you know, technically a bronzer, so it does lean warm, but honestly, it works for contour. I rarely use like 2 different products for bronzer and contour, you know? I feel like the bronzer is the moment now anyway. I don't feel like I see a lot of people using super cool toned contour products. I do feel like it really is more of a bronzer moment right now. Okay, and then the last thing I'm gonna do with this is get this on a little pencil brush here. This is a Morphe E18. I feel like this is a classic. And I'm gonna get some of that on that brush, and I'm going to carve out my nose. And I already feel like that was kind of a lot, so we're gonna see how this goes. Oh no. Did this have product on it? Okay, you guys, I think this actually had eyeshadow on it because look at that. It got like really dark right there. So I'm gonna fix this and I'll be right back. All right, so now that we have that laid down, I am going to take, there's just kind of a little bit of powder you can see here in the cap. So I'm gonna take the same brush that I was using earlier, and I am just gonna lightly set the center of my forehead and down my nose, around my smile lines a little bit, my chin. I'm gonna hold off on the cheeks because we're gonna do a cream blush. But again, just using a very light touch with this powder. Okay, let's do a little liquid highlight actually before we do cream blush. So this is the Anastasia. This is the Anastasia Liquid Glow in the shade Perla. As far as I know, this is still available. I think I got this at TJ Maxx, honestly, but I think it's still available on the Anastasia site. So I just got a little squeeze of that on the back of my hand. And I think, again, I've been using my Beauty Blender for everything, but again, I think I'm just gonna get a little bit of that on the tip of my Beauty Blender. And I'm gonna go just along the highest point of my cheekbone. Also, again, from what I've heard from the other YouTubers that I watch, blinding highlights aren't cool anymore these days. It's more of like a subtle glowy highlight. So just trying to stay cool. Just kidding. I've never been cool. That ship sailed a long time ago. And then I'm actually going to go over top of that with a little bit of my ColourPop Lunch Money Super Shock. This is like a cream to powder formula, so I'm hoping that this will help me just kind of set the Anastasia one. This also, you know, if you're like me and you still like a little bit more of a pop with your highlighter, this is also going to intensify it just a little bit as well. So again, just kind of tapping it with my finger, making sure we're blended and it doesn't just kind of look like a stripe. Okay, now for blush. So this is the e.l.f. Putty Blush in the shade Tahiti. So I just have this on a stippling brush, and again, I'm just gonna get this right on top of my cheekbone, blending up towards my temples. So looking at my face, we are looking pretty glowy. I do want to put a powder blush on top of the blush that I just put on so that the blush is a little bit more set down as well. I don't know. I just can't not set my face. I can't stop with just cream products. It's great to layer cream and powder products for longevity, but I can't just do cream. So I am going to use the e.l.f. Bite-Sized blush. This is in the shade Watermelon. I am just going to get the matte side to start, and I'm going to lightly tap that over top of where we've already applied our blush, again to set it down a little bit more. Okay, and then again, just because this is a glowy look, I'm going to go over to the glowy side of this blush and just top it off with that. Wow, yeah, that is glowy, but I love it. Okay, face is done. I just looked at it in the mirror, and I'm looking at it in my little mirror here as well. It looks so nice, but I still feel like I need a little extra translucent powder just to make sure that everything is set down. So just one more time, I'm gonna go back in with my little brush and get a little bit of my powder, tap it in the cap and swirl it around so we don't have too much at one time. And I'm just gonna lightly press that in over top of everything that we've done so far, just to make sure that we are set and this makeup isn't going to be slipping all over my face in an hour. So this is the CoverGirl Brow Pencil in the shade Soft Brown. Yes, Soft Brown. So I'm going to brush up my brows, and what I'm going to do here is just give them some light color because I am going to go for more of the like fluffy brushed up brow look today. But that being said, there are definitely, even with the lamination, there are some like sparse areas where I need just like a little bit more color in my brows to give them the shape that I want. So I'm just gonna lightly fill them in and then we'll brush them up. Okay, and once I've given them a little bit more color and shape, then I'm gonna go into my e.l.f. brow lift. So I'm gonna take a clean spoolie. I have a bunch of these just all the time because I keep them in my kit, but they come in handy for things like this. So if you like to use a product like this, definitely just grab yourself some spoolies from Amazon. They come in handy all the time. So I just scooped a little bit of that brow lift out and I'm just working it on the back of my hand. I have been using this product probably in like the last 2 weeks or so for the first time, and I am very impressed. I really do like it. It definitely feels like a gel. It is a stronghold gel and it holds your brows in place, but if you don't like sticky brows, you probably won't like this because you can feel it in there and it does not budge until you take it off. So just fair warning. Okay friends, we are getting close to the finish line here. I can see it in sight. So let's go back to the eyes for a second. I am gonna go back into the palette and back into the shade Mugged Off. And this time I'm taking it on a smudging brush. And I am just going to press that into my lower lash line. I was considering leaving the lower lash line bare, but then I was like, nah, I want a little bit more from this look. And then taking just a clean little blending brush like this. This is like kind of a blending brush, kind of a smudging brush, I feel. And I'm not gonna get any product on it. I'm just gonna use it to blend out that same color that we just placed on the lower lash line. All right, I'm gonna curl my lashes and put some mascara on to prep for fake lashes. And I'm not doing anything new here, just curling with my Tweezerman curlers, and then I'm going to be using my Tarte Man-Eater mascara, which I've been talking about in several videos at this point. I really like it. I use the waterproof formula, definitely recommend. Okay, so here is the look with just mascara. Of course, if you don't like wearing lashes or you want something that's a little bit more on the natural side, you can stop right here. I think it looks fine. I think it looks complete. I think it looks pretty, the whole thing. But if you're a glam girl like me, we want lashes. So we are not doing this look without lashes. So I think I'm gonna take a pair of my faves from ColourPop. This is the style Queenie. And they are definitely long and glam, but they're also pretty wispy and they have a nice taper. So you can see that they're kind of shorter on the inside and longer on the outside, which I think will pair really well with this eye look. It'll give us a nice lift. So I'm gonna pop these on. Okay, so I think one more thing for the eyes, I'm just gonna take a little tiny brush here and go back into the shade Wink Wink. And I'm just gonna bring it in to my inner corner a little bit more to brighten things up. Oh, hi. Hey, Mama. What you doing? Were you taking a nap? Okay, anyway, we've got a Napa cameo here, but I'm just gonna bring it into my inner corner just to brighten up a little bit. Okay, yeah, see how that just gives a little more brightness to the eye as opposed to this one. I like it. Okay, friends, let's do lips and we'll be done. I actually think I'm gonna go with the Mario one. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure I don't have any like lip balm or anything left over on my lips, and I'm just gonna line with this. Okay, beautiful color, beautiful lip liner formula. I really do like this shade. It's a great neutral, but it's a little bit darker than what I want for this look. So we are gonna try to lighten this up a little bit. So I also have another product from Mario. It is the one of his glowing lip serums, and this is in the shade Nude Glow. So as you can see, this is like a lot nudier of a color. So I'm actually gonna apply this with a little brush. So I'm just gonna, you can see how like soft it is in there. So I just got some of that on my brush. I'm actually gonna work it on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna apply this all over. Yeah, so you can kind of see how that is a little bit more of like a lighter nudie color. I just didn't want anything too dark for this look. All right, let's finish this look off because I already know this video I've been filming for, I don't know, I've been filming for a while. So I already know this video is going to be very long, so if you're still with me, thank you for being here. But I do want to finish this look off with setting spray. So this, you're going to be able to tell, is a huge favorite of mine because it is on its last leg. It is almost empty. But this is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Setting Mist. This is my absolute favorite, hands down, hydrating setting mist. I love it. It's beautiful. So to finish off this glowy, fresh look, we're gonna set with this. So I'm just gonna, I don't know what it smells like, but it has a very nice light and fresh scent. And the mister is really nice. It doesn't like shoot out at you aggressively. It's a nice mist on the skin. So as you can see, I have used this a ton, and I do need to order a backup like today. All right, I think we're done. All right, my friends, once again, if you have made it this far, thank you for being here. But here we are with the finished look. What do we think? I like it. I think that this is a beautiful, fresh, glowy, but still definitely glam spring look. So it's honestly a little bit more glam than I had intended it to be when I started out, but I feel like that's just kind of the name of the game with me. I just love full glam. That's my style on myself. That's my style as a makeup artist. So I kind of can't help myself. So there you have it. So I hope you guys liked it. These full face tutorials are definitely a doozy. Again, I know they're long. I already know this video is going to be long because I've been filming for so long, but I can't help myself. I love to talk about products with you guys. I love to explain things. I love to just like nerd out over makeup. It is just my favorite thing in the entire world. So hopefully there are some of you out there that like to do that too. If you saw any of your favorites in this video, definitely let me know in the comments below. If you have any suggestions on what your favorite glowy skin, spring, summer products are, definitely let us know in the comments below as well. I'm always looking for new things to test out. With all of that being said, that is going to be the end of this video. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button down below, and you can also hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads from me. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Like I said, leave me a comment below. Those little interactions do help me out in the algorithm, so I really appreciate you guys interacting with my channel. One, because I love hearing from you, but two, it really does help grow the channel, so I appreciate it. And with that, I will catch you in my next one. Mwah. Love you. Bye.